Hi everyone, this is Anjali. Welcome to the channel. And today we are going to do strings in Python. So we have done list, we've done tuples, we have to do slicing, but I told you like slicing we will be doing in list, tuples, and strings all together because it's done in the same way. So before we do slicing, let's introduce strings to you. So you've been using strings earlier without actually knowing that it's a string. So string is basically a collection of characters, right? So it's a collection of characters. When I say it is a collection of characters, I don't say or I don't mean alphabets. I'm saying characters, okay? So collection of characters includes everything, alphabets, capital or small, digits, special symbols, spaces. So everything included forms a character, right? So it's a collection of characters. It could be a combination of any of these characters, right? And whenever we put strings, we can put that in double quotes, single quotes, or even triple quotes. So I can put a string in double quotes. I can put a string in single quotes. I can put a string in triple quotes. So generally when it is a single statement, a single word, so we can put it in single or double quotes. For example, I want to write Python programming. So I put Python programming like this. I have given double quotes around it. I could have given single quotes as well. But if you have to write more than one line of text. So if I have to write more than one line of text, we use triple quotes for that. So if you start the quotes and you're writing this is a program written in Python, so on, writing more than one line. So you can start with triple quotes, you can end with triple quotes. So if you have more than one line in your string, you can put triple quotes. I'll show you how. This is also used to write remarks in your program. So we can give comments or remarks in your program, which are non-executable statements. Like if you just write hash testing. So this is just a comment. It will not do anything. Similar way, if you have to write multiple line comments, so that can be given in triple quotes. Okay, right now coming back to strings. If I have a string, I write A is equal to hello and I print A, so it prints hello. If I write B is equal to thank you and I write print B, so it prints thank you. Okay, so it's printing hello, it's printing thank you like this. So we have got it this way. And now, if I have to take more than one lines, for example, I write C is equal to, in double quotes, I try to write this is a code C. I wanted to go to the next line, but the moment I press enter, it gave me error. That is, the string has to close on the same line. But I don't want it to close on the same line, so I'll start with triple quotes and then I'll start writing. This is a code written in Python. It is to work with strings and then I close the triple quotes. Now if you write print C, so it's printed with all the new lines and everything. So if you need more than one line as a content in string, we put it in triple quotes. So a string can be enclosed in single quotes, can be enclosed in double quotes, can be enclosed in triple quotes. That is said to be a string. I hope that's clear to everyone, right? So this is how we create a string. Now comes the methods which you can put on string. What can you do with strings? We can find out the length. So if I write length A, it shows me like there was hello. So there were only 5 characters. Length of B was 9 characters. And length of C is giving you 63 characters. Fine. So we can find the length. Then we have various functions which work on it. For example, if you want to see whether it is all alphabets in your string, so if you write A dot is alpha, you'll get true because hello has all alphabets, right? But if you do the same thing with B, you get false. Why false? You'll say, ma'am, we wrote thank you in it. B is thank you. The Y is it saying false? Here are also all the alphabets, but no, there is a space in between. So if you have any other character than alphabets, you will get false. So we have the other character, which is space. So we cannot have that, right? So space is not allowed. So B dot is alpha means everything has to be alphabet. If we get anything which is other than an alphabet, we will get false over there, right? So as we have is alpha, we have is digit. Is digit means everything should be a digit. So if I had, let's say, a phone number, PH is equal to, in quotes I write 876562312, something like that. And if you write PH dot is digit, so we get true. If there is some symbol, let's say sometimes we have +91 in the phone number or some other symbols. If you have, it will give you false. So it has to be only digits. So if it is set of digits only, it will give you true. If there is any other thing in between, it gives you false. It will give you false. Then we have is elnum also. Is elnum says that alphabet and numbers combination, right? For example, I have D is equal to ABC123. Now, if I write D is alpha, I'll get false because it's not all alphabets. But if I call is digit, I'm again going to get false. But if I use is elnum, I will get true because it's alphabets and digits combination, nothing else. Same way we have is space. If it's all space, it's true. But if it's something else than space, it's false. Then is lower, is upper is also there. A dot is lower is false because one letter was capital. Similar way, you can check is upper. Here also you will get false because only first letter is capital, rest all are small. So I can change the case also. If I want to change the case, I'll just write A dot lower. And just remember that string is also immutable. String is immutable. So writing A dot lower will show you hello in lowercase, but your A has not been modified. Okay. Like in tuples, we can create a tuple and then there cannot be any changes in it. Similar way, string can be created. You can fetch the individual characters from the positions, but you cannot modify them. So once a string is created, nothing in the string can be changed. So if I try to do this, I'll get error. So it does not support assignment. So it is immutable. So string is an immutable data type or data structure. Okay. So this is one thing. So A dot lower, A dot upper will give you the result, but it will not modify the original string. So hello is coming in capital letters. Now, if I print C, it's this. We have a case called title case. So if I write C dot title, so you can see first letter of each word becomes capital. First letter of each word becomes capital. This is a code written in Python. So T capital, I capital, A capital, C capital. So first letter of each word is capital. Okay, so that's how we get C dot title. After this, what do we have? We have more functions for changing cases. Like we have swap case. It will make small letters capital, capital letters small. So wherever you have a small alphabet, it will be changed to capital, and wherever you have capital, it will be changed to small. Then I have capitalize. Capitalize is like first letter of each string becomes capital. So since it is multiple, each sentence should be capital. Maybe I have given a space before this. Since there is a space, that's why it's not capital. But otherwise, that's the purpose of capitalize. So if I call A dot capitalize, I'll get hello. But if you have something like hello, or you had thank you already, so I can just show you that. B dot capitalize. So you can see in thank you, only T is coming capital. But actually, your Y was also capital. So capitalize means only the first letter of the complete sentence will be capital. Not every word's first letter will be capital. So for the complete sentence, only the first letter will be capital. That's capitalized. So 5 cases are there: lower, upper, capitalize, swap case, and title. Okay. So these are some basic functions we can use on your letters. And this is very important because these functions are used a lot in your output questions. And for sure, you're going to get a question for 2 marks or 3 marks, which is based on strings, where the code is given and you're supposed to get the output of the code. So code will be there, there would be a loop, there would be a string, and they will be performing some operations on the strings, and then they ask you what will be the output of the code. So the playlist, which is having various Python output questions, you can see multiple questions based on this and you can practice those. So you've done so much of list and tuples now that you can start practicing the output questions now. Okay, the link of the playlist is there in the description. So you can start practicing from there. Okay, so let's see the next function now. The next function basically is used to divide your whole string into parts. Okay, into parts like if I have a string, let's say B is equal to, this is a Python code. Now you write B dot split. So we have a function called split. Now what does split do? By default, it splits your whole string into a list of words on the basis of this, that where is a space. So wherever space comes, the list is separated into a list of, the string is separated into a list of words. But it's not important that I always have to split on space only. I can split on any other character as well. Okay. So what is the purpose of split? Split is used to break down a string into a list of words. So split is used to break down a string into a list of words. By default, the break up is done wherever space comes. So wherever the space comes, it will break it down. Okay. But we don't want to do always on space. We want to change the letter. We want to change a word. Even we can give a word where we have to break down. So we can always specify that with split in the round brackets. So how do we specify that? For example, if I have, let's say, uh, what should I say? Value of a cone is 200. Let it be this. Okay. Let's this in A. And I write A dot split O. Now you have to find out that where do we get O? So we get an O here and we get an O here. There are two O's. Since there are two O's, the list will have three strings. So it will be value space, whatever you had before O. O will never come in your string. O will not be a part of the list ever. Then after O, we have F space A space C. Then we have NE is 200. So that's how it's divided. So whatever I have before O, then from that O to next O, whatever you have in between is your second string, and then whatever you have after O. So this could be anything. It could be appearing like multiple times. If it is appearing multiple times, so we will have that many strings. So the number of strings in list is equal to number of times this thing occurs, the split character occurs, plus 1. So number of times the split character occurs plus 1. So number of strings in list is equal to number of times the split character occurs plus 1. So if it is coming for 2 times, you will be having 3 strings. If it is coming for 4 times, I'll be having 5 strings. So that is how split works. Okay. So that is the purpose of split. I hope it's clear. Now we have a similar kind of function which is named as partition. So partition is also used with strings, which is used to divide your string into exactly 3 Okay. So we always give a value here on which you have to partition. So it divides the string into a tuple of length 3. So it will divide it into a tuple of length 3. So the first part of it is string before partition. The middle string always be the partition value on which you have to partition it. And third will be string after the partition value. Again, this split and partition are very important. You will get question on this. The chances are very high to get a question based on these. So how do we do this? If you have, let's say A is equal to power is everything, something like this. And you write A dot partition in bracket, I write is. Then we have a tuple. We write power is everything. So whatever thing you're doing partition on, that will come in the middle. And whatever we have power space, that will be before in the first string. Space, everything will be there in the second string. So that is partition. I'll show you how does it work. So if I take R is equal to hello everyone. Now I write R dot split ever. Sorry. Okay. Let's see if I split, then what happens? If I split, then I'll get hello. Ever is removed at all. And then what you have after that is YONE. And the result is a list. Okay. So the list is of two strings. So whatever we have before ever and whatever we have after ever, and the ever is removed because split will remove that thing. But if I do partition and I pass ever, so you can see it's a tuple and it has 3 parts. Okay. And sometimes you would wonder that if I give the very first word in partition, if I give hello in partition, then what will happen? Again, you will have 3 things in the tuple. The first one would be blank. Second one will be hello and third would be the remaining thing. But you will always have 3 parts. You will always have 3. So first is blank, the second is hello, third is everyone. Getting it? So that's the purpose of partition. So this is split, partition. Then we have replace. Like if R is this and I write R dot replace, you can say that wherever we have E, it should be replaced by $sign. So you can see wherever we had E instead of E, we're getting a $sign. It has not replaced the capital E because it's case sensitive. So there's a difference between small and capital letters. So replace is there. Then we have that index function, which we did with list and tuple. It's there over here also. So you can write r dot index ever. So this will tell me where does ever start. So ever starts at position 6 because positions start from 0. So H is 0, E is 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at 6 we have E. So since we have it at 6, so we're getting it like this, okay? But if it's not there, if you're searching for something which is not there, for example, I just write ever in small letters like this. So I'll be getting an error over here, okay? So as we have index, which is used to find the index and gives you that, and if it is not there, it gives you an error. We have another function here which was not there with lists and tuples, that is find. Okay, so remember, one function is index, the other function is find. The difference between index and find is that in case it's there, then they work the same way. Like you write r dot find and you search for ever. It's okay. It's giving me the position the same way as index is giving. The difference is when I search for something which is not there. So if I'm looking for even. Index will give me error. But if I write find and I search for the same thing, it gives me -1. Okay, because 0 is a valid position in the string. So instead of giving 0, it gives you -1. That indicates that whatever we are looking for, it's not there in the string. So whatever I'm looking for, whatever I'm finding, it's not there in the string. So it gives you -1. So these are some of the major functions which you use with strings to work upon the strings, and we can always use a loop to traverse a string, a list, a tuple, which I've told you already when we did loops. Like if you write for ch in R and we write print ch, so what happens is it works for every character like this. Now, if I want to count the number of vowels in it, I can do that. I can take n is equal to 0 and I can write for ch in R, and then I can check the condition if ch in AEIOU or AEIOU. That means if it matches with either of the small or capital AEIOU, so it's a vowel. So vowel counter should increase by 1. Coming out of the loop, you can show n, and that's 6. So we have 6 vowels in R. You can count, and yes, we rely on the computer, it would be correct. So that's how we can process strings. Okay. So majorly strings are useful because for file handling questions, you would be requiring to work on strings in case of text files, and you get a direct output question based on strings, and moreover, you can get 1 mark questions based on strings, right? So prepare it well, practice all these. The notes for all these things, string, list, tuples, it's all available in the app, in the free study material section. So when you download the AL Coders app, go to the free study material section in the class 12th CBSE Computer Science folder. You will see all my handwritten notes for this. That will help you to revise through all these functions and all these things for a quick revision. So that is it for this video. I'll see you in the next one with slicing of list, tuples, and strings. Bye for now. Take care.